We have all heard those rumors and read those articles that say, hey, you have to have 10 times your salary in your thrift savings plan to be able to retire comfortably. Is that true? Is there any truth to it? How much really do you need? Or is 400,000 enough? Or is it less or more? What's the number for you? Today we're going to dive right into this sort of question so you know where you stand for retirement and then if you have enough or are on track to have enough for retirement. So if you're new here, welcome. Great to have you. It's going to be a great one. I'm actually going to walk you through a real example of what this would look like potentially for you or someone similar to you, right? And we're going to dive right in. So consider subscribing if you're new. We'd love to have you join this incredible community of federal employees trying to get the most out of their retirement. So let's dive in. I'm going to share my whiteboard here. So if you're on the podcast, you're going to get a ton out of this. However, if you want to see the visuals, definitely go check out the YouTube channel where the visuals are going to live, okay? So the big question I want to answer today is, in this example, is $400,000 enough for this example that we're going to go into? Is that enough for someone to retire? Because we've all read those things as, hey, no, you need at least $1 million or you need at least this or that. And the truth is they're all guessing. They're all guessing, and normally they're not talking to federal employees. The rules and the rules of thumb are different for you guys as federal employees. They just are, okay? So I'm going to show you a different approach to actually know for you and not just go off rules of thumb, but actually know for you if 400,000 in the TSP is a good place for you to be, okay? But here's the deal. There is absolutely no way for you to actually know if 400,000 is enough for you without really knowing what income you're going to have from your pension and from Social Security and how much your TSP can actually produce for you in retirement, okay? And today we're going to help you figure exactly what those numbers are and give an example so you can plug in your own numbers and know for yourself if you are prepared and ready to go for retirement, okay? So let's dive right in. So how we're going to structure this is I'm going to start with a pension, okay? I'm going to start with your pension. I'm going to go to then your Social Security, and then I'm going to go to the thrift savings plan and say, okay, is that enough for someone to retire? Okay, let's dive right in. So in this example, let's say someone has a high three salary of $100,000. So let's say in the last 3 years of someone's career, their average salary is $100,000. That's their high three, okay? And let's say they had 30 years of service. So if they're a traditional FERS employee, we take $100,000, their high three, multiplied by their years of service, that's 30 years, multiplied by their multiplier. So for most of you, it's going to be 1%. If you're age 62 and above and you retire with 20 plus years, it'd be 1.1. But just to keep it simple, let's say it's 1%, which for most federal employees, that's what it's going to be. And if we do this math, we get $30,000. So in this situation, this person's pension would be $30,000, okay? But that's on an annual basis. What is that on a monthly basis? Let's divide that by 12, okay? And we get $2,500. $2,500. So that is your gross pension, what someone would get, again, assuming you have 30 years of service and your salary is about $100,000. I know your numbers aren't exactly going to be like this, but just plug your own numbers in and see how far you can get and see what clarity you can get after going through all of this for yourself, okay? So again, gross monthly pension of $2,500 for the pension. So let's go ahead and clear this off now. So we now have $2,500, okay, as a gross pension. However, there's things that come out of that pension before you can actually spend it. For example, let's say you're married and you want to give your spouse survivor benefits. Now, if you want to have a more in-depth guide of what survivor benefits are, I've got other videos on that, but I'm going to assume you know what they are and that you are going to elect it. So let's say you pick the 10% option, which will cost you 10% of your pension. That's $250, okay? Let's say you want your health insurance. Let's say that'll cost you $400, okay? And let's say you have FEGLI. Let's say you have FEGLI, that'll cost you $35, okay? And then, of course, you have taxes. Let's say you pay $300 for taxes. So we take all these things out. What you're actually left with at the end of the day is about $1,500, about $1,515, okay? About $1,500 net. because that is the number that you actually care about in retirement. That's the amount of money you can actually spend from your pension, because again, survivor benefits, health insurance premiums, life insurance premiums, taxes, all these things come out. Now, these are just some made up numbers, some assumptions on averages that I see for federal employees. Plug in your own numbers. Are you doing survivor benefits, right? Are you married? Do you have survivor benefits? Are you taking health insurance? Are you taking life insurance? What about taxes, right? All these things, plug in your own numbers to find your net pension. In this example, it is $1,500, okay? So let's, again, clear up our canvas here. So our gross pension is $1,500-ish. I'm just going to round down to $1,500 to keep our numbers nice and easy. So that is what your income from your FERS pension. However, if you retire at 62 or later, you know you can start Social Security right away. Or if you retire before 62, you may be eligible for the FERS supplement. Now, if you don't know what the FERS supplement is, go check out my other videos on that. It'll explain exactly who can get it and what it is. But long story short, it's an extra payment for federal employees who retire before 62 if you're eligible. Not everyone is, but many people are, okay? So in this example, let's assume this person is retiring before 62, so they can't quite start Social Security, but they're gonna have the FERS supplement, which is often similar to Social Security, okay? So let's say their gross FERS supplement, let's say it's $1,500, okay? Gross, before anything comes out. But we do have to pay for taxes, okay? We gotta pay for taxes out of the FERS supplement. So let's say net, the supplement is about $1,275. Okay, let's say the net FERS supplement is $1,275. Okay, $1,275. So let's go ahead and clear this off. So the net pension was about $1,500. Okay, net pension about $1,500, and then the net FERS supplement was about $1,275. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add these together. Okay, so if we add our net pension plus our net FERS supplement, okay, what we're going to get is $2,775, about 2,775. Now, of course, as you might expect, there's assumptions going into here about how much taxes they're going to owe and things like that, but this is just an example of some average numbers that I see for average federal employees, okay? I see a lot of federal employees retire, and this is very average, okay? So this federal employee has net income in retirement, fixed income of $2,775. So that's the amount of money he's going to get every single month net after everything is paid for out of these incomes. What he can actually spend, $2,775. Okay. Now, the last piece of income that you have to add into this is TSP income. So let me move my face here on the video. We have to say, okay, let's say you have $400,000 in the TSP. Okay. 400,000. Okay, 400,000 in the TSP. So the next question we have to answer is how much money can that actually produce for you on a monthly basis? And how do we turn that into an income source, right? And the answer to that is we want to use the 4% rule. I've got other videos specifically on the 4% rule, but I'm going to give you the summary of it right now. Basically, to figure out how much money your TSP can provide for you in retirement, you want to take your TSP balance at retirement, and we want to multiply it by 4%, okay? Multiply it by 4%. So 400,000 multiplied by 4% equals $16,000, okay? So what the 4% rule says is, hey, look, if you take, again, 4% of whatever you have at retirement, and that's how much you take out in the first year of retirement, then you can increase that amount, the $16,000, by inflation every year. And the odds of you running out of money by doing that is very, very slim. So for example, in year one, you take out $16,000. In year two, you take out $16,000 plus whatever inflation was, right? So if it's 5%, then 5% more. And you keep doing that every year for the rest of your life, and the odds of you running out are very, very small. That's what the 4% rule is all about, okay? It's a simple way to estimate how much your TSP can provide for you in actual dollars and cents in retirement, okay? Now, let's change this 16,000 here. Let's change it to a monthly number, okay? So let's divide it by 12. Let's divide it by 12, and what we get is about $1,300, okay? 1,333. That is what we get. Now that, if your 400,000 in the TSP is 100% traditional TSP, then that money is all taxable, okay? all taxable. So let me clean this up here. So what we have to do is, if we want to know how much net money that can provide, then we have to take out a chunk for taxes. Okay, so let's assume about $200 go to taxes. Okay, so if we assume about $200 for taxes, that means we're left with, let me get my marker out here, about $1,133 net from the TSP every month is what it can provide net after taxes are paid. Okay, if you have Roth TSP money, then some of this would be, of course, tax-free, which is great. We love tax-free money, but most of you, I assume, have traditional TSPs. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add all these income sources together. To see what our total net income would be in retirement given these numbers, okay? So as we know, this 1,133, that's the money from your TSP. That's how much you can produce for you for the rest of your life, right? Plus your money from your pension and your FERS supplement is here, your net money. So let's add this together, okay? Let's add it together. So let's add it together, we'd get $3,908, okay? $3,908 roughly, okay? Again, I'm making a lot of assumptions here just to show an example, okay? So $3,908. So the question is, okay, we have $3,908. Is that enough money for me to retire and be comfortable? And that is a great question. And it's hard to know for sure. And some people just guess and say, oh yeah, that'll be enough, right? But is it really? One of the best ways in my experience to figure this question out is to look at what you're making now. What are you actually living off of now net, right? And how do we figure that out in an easy way? Well, let's look at your net pay. Pull out a leave-in earnings statement. What do you actually take home right now? What money is going to your bank accounts and actually being spent, right? So let's do an example. Let's say your net pay, if you pulled out your leave-in earnings statement and your net pay, let's say was $1,800 every 2 weeks, okay? You got paid every $1,800 actually in your bank account every 2 weeks, okay? And for this assumption, or for this example, let's assume that none of that money then goes to an IRA or anything else. That all that money goes to your lifestyle, just to keep it simple, okay? Well, how do we change $1,800 every 2 weeks into a monthly number? Well, what we have to do is we have to multiply it by, not divide, multiply. We need to multiply it by 26 because you get paid 26 times a year most of the time, 26 pay periods in a year. And then we need to divide it by 12 to get a monthly number, okay? So when you do that math, we get 3,900. 3,900. So if your net pay right now is $1,800 every 2 weeks, what that is in a monthly number is about $3,900 on a monthly basis, okay? So given this example, we figured out, hey, this person's pension, FERS supplement, and TSP will add up to a net amount of $3,908, and this person is used to living off of $3,900, right? So we're basically right on where they would be able to replace what they're taking home from their job in retirement income. And I know this is a lot of work. If you're still here, you're like, wow, this is a lot of number crunching. Wow, I don't think I could do this. Well, to be frank, this is the only way to know if you have enough in your TSP. That's the only way. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know what income you're going to have, and you don't know how that compares to what you're currently taking home. Once you know these numbers, then you'll have the confidence to say, hey, look, I know I can keep my standard of living, right? Now, a couple disclaimers here, right? Number one, some things might change in retirement. For example, let's say you pay off your mortgage at retirement. Well, you don't have that expense in retirement, so you actually need a smaller amount of income in retirement. Or maybe you move to a lower cost area. There's different things that might come into play, but this example I showed you today is a great example to actually talk through how you can figure out your retirement numbers to make sure you're in a good spot, okay? So I hope that's helpful. If you want more examples like this, let me know in the comments below. And there's actually a link in the description below to submit questions that you might have about your federal retirement, your benefits, and how to maximize them. So definitely check out those links. There's tons of helpful things to make sure you as a federal employee can get the most out of your retirement. I hope that's helpful. Have an incredible rest of your day.